Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in. Tuning in. Well, on today's episode, I entitled it Financially Distressed. Now, according to this article that I have here, it's been going on a long time. This is nothing new. Florida is now the second most financially distressed state in the US, topped only by Texas, Google helps reveal. They are also ranked in the sixth in the change in the number of bankruptcy filing from 2025 to 2025. Now, I did a video on Florida about the food pantries. I have my sister-in-law, my brother-in-law, my father-in-law that lives in Florida. That every year we make it a mission to go visit them in Florida every year, and conversations sometimes get into finances. And they say when you get a paycheck in Florida and you're working, have a regular job in Florida, and if you live in New York, just take your paycheck that you get paid in New York and cut your paycheck in half. Meaning that the wages that you get paid in Florida, it's not enough to keep up with the cost of living. It's just not enough. Just not enough. Food, groceries is expensive. I experienced it in Florida. And I'm like, look at that. Why they have New York City prices in Florida, but yet the wages that people are getting paid is can't keep up with the cost of living. It's same thing with New York, but Florida they pay you peanuts. The wages are extremely low for the employees. The wages are extremely low for the employees. Extremely low. And it's a big complaint that when you get paid and you paid all your bills, that your paycheck is not enough to cover your leisure expenses. Now you got to figure out, well, how am I going to buy groceries? Now, in Florida now, it's a state that is a right to work state, meaning that the unions are not that, the unions pretty much don't back you. And if you take off a lot, you get fired. And you're at their mercies if you have a job in Florida. Yet not only that your wages are low, way less than other states, but yeah, you moved there for the cost of living, but guess what? The cost of living is just like New York City prices and Los Angeles prices. Florida is no longer the state that people can run into to retire. No longer the state that people are running to retire. It's not like the 80s and 90s, and I can say the early 2000s. Florida, for the longest time, has not become an option for people to move to once they want to retire. Because even retirees are complaining that, listen, my pension is not enough. Remember, you only get pensions once a month. The pension is not enough, and it seems like you got to go back to work because the pension that you're receiving from your income, the pension that you're receiving from your job that you retired, is not enough to keep up with the cost of living. And that's the complaint that a lot of Americans have living in Florida. But I would say across the United States, it's like that. Seems like that. But Florida, where the wages are extremely low and the cost of living is high. It's sad because the hard-working 9 to 5ers, hardworking, even professionals, whether you a teacher, physical therapist, in the state of Florida, got to think twice about going on vacation because, to be honest with you, you got to tell your trips got to be shorter. No longer going on lavish vacations. No longer going on. You got to think twice before you spend that money, pay that round trip ticket, and go on these nice trips because your wages is not enough. You're barely trying to get by with the cost of living. Listen, you even got to tell your friends that want to hang out. You got to think twice about hanging out because if you hang out, you know that they're just not going to want to just come over your house and talk. They're not going to just want to come and talk on the phone. They're not going to just want to meet you at the job and hang out and talk. They're going to want to go out. Your friends are gonna want to go out, and they maybe want to go to that maybe that restaurant, hang out for a little while. You know you gotta spend money. Maybe you want, and maybe they want to invite you to a trip. And some men who have just leave a comment. Who has friends that have money that go on trips every year, nice, beautiful trips every year, and then when they invite you, you gotta watch what you spend now, because they invite you to go on these trips, and you're looking at your pockets, and you're saying that, listen, I got responsibility, I got my kids, I got responsibility, and I got to pay this mortgage. I got to pay this rent. I can't go on these trips. I can't go to these concerts. Your friends invite you to go to these certain places, concerts, long, far away trips, and you got to think twice, because you got to think twice about even hanging out, because the money that you get paid, the money that you get paid is not enough for you to go splurge. You have $200 in your pocket. Remember that $200, the average American gets paid bi-weekly. So that $200, you gotta be like, well, I gotta put money on my gas. I gotta put money on groceries. So by the time I hang out with you, my money will be gone. So you gotta think twice. You gotta think twice. If I spend this money, I gotta wait till to get paid again. So if I spend this money, I gotta wait till I get paid again to have leisure money on me, little money on me, so I can survive and put gas in my car. So therefore, I gotta turn it down. If you have a car note in 2025, you're struggling. Some people can't afford they finance cars and realize that they got themselves in a jam. Because remember, some people gotta pay rent, some people have a hefty mortgage, and they're living in a sunshine state, and you realize that you bit off more than you can chew. And you may have to say, listen, I can't afford this vehicle. And because I'm financing it just to get around from go to my job and come back. But when you get hit with that bill, and you get hit with that car insurance, and then you get hit with the rent, and then the other bills come in, man, it's becomes stressful.
So broke right now, people are literally financing their groceries like a car note. Florida has officially turned into the second most financially distressed state in America. Of course, only Texas beat them out. When I saw it, I thought, dang, Florida and Texas are in competition with each other to see who can treat their people the worst. See, here's the wild part. A new study found that 25% of Floridians are financing their groceries using buy now, pay later. You heard that right, loans. We finance cars, homes. Some people even do it to furniture. Now it's chicken wings, bread, and milk. Honestly, it doesn't surprise me because when you look at Florida, a huge part of the problem is the elderly. And it's not like grandma can go get a side hustle at Amazon or the grocery store to make up for the money that she misses every month. The elderly don't have that option. It means that they're feeling the squeeze tighter than anybody else. And the squeeze is brutal. People are delaying payment, racking up late fees, filing bankruptcy, or just straight up not paying bills no more. That's not living paycheck to paycheck. That's survival on credit. And just note, it's not just a Florida story or a Texas story. When two of the largest states in the country are collapsing under the weight of necessities, that means it's a sign that it's happening everywhere. So if Florida is drowning while selling sunshine and palm trees, imagine what it looks like in states that don't have the tourism economy to fall back on. And quiet as kept, Florida ain't got it to fall back on no more either. So remember, America will sell you a dream, but it will make you finance the groceries just to stay alive. And if you think it's normal, then you've already accepted living in a nightmare. It's so
Job for you is right. Imagine that. People are struggling, but imagine that financing your groceries, financing. You go out and you buy groceries, you gotta finance. Imagine that. I never thought there was a financial thing for financing your groceries, financing food, just to eat food, then you pay it month by month. Imagine that. Imagine. Seems like you're doing it because when you go to the grocery, buy 2 bags of groceries, especially you're in Florida or Texas, you buy bags of groceries, it's almost spending $200. Imagine that. Imagine. two bags of groceries, and it's almost $200. And now this is how people live paycheck to paycheck because you finish squeezing all your bills you're paying, all the bills you're paying, and now you only have a little bit to squeeze on your groceries. And couples are going through it, man. They're squeezing, figuring out how they're gonna pay the mortgage, how they're gonna pay the rent, and it's a struggle out there. But now you gotta figure out a way to have a budget for groceries. A budget for groceries. Lord help us. This is what's going on, y'all. It's real. The struggle is real out here. And some people are literally living off their credit card bills. Literally. Living off credit card. Just literally living off credit cards. And they're not paying it back. Because when they swipe, and scan, and then you use their phone, the digital swipe on their phone, like the digital credit card on their phone, the bills racks up and they didn't realize it. That it racked up so much. And that brings stress.
Y'all know that the average American doesn't have any money left over, if but maybe $200 or $300 left after they get paid every 2 weeks or every month. Did y'all know that? I'm sorry, but that I literally feel like drive me to voluntary homelessness. I would volunteer to be homeless. There's no way they'd have me out here working for anybody, and I can't live life after I pay bills. Y'all can have these bills back. Take the car, take the crib. You can have it. Listen, I'm gonna be homeless on the street before I dare. Because see, the way I'm set up, my father, which art in heaven, would never have that be my portion. That's not my portion. There's no way that paying bills and not having any money left over to really exist, that's not my portion. That's not my portion. And I feel like if that doesn't motivate you and inspire you to get out here and go make some money, make more money. See, the problem with us nowadays is not that we don't know how to make money, it's just that we need to make more money. Find ways to make more money. Stop making excuses. You need to be trying to be the president of the United States before you stop trying to find a new job. Listen, if you got to switch jobs every single 2 weeks, then that's what you got to do. May the best salary win. Thank you. Y'all know that the average American.
Janaya is right. By the time you finish paying all your bills up, paying everything, you be lucky if you have at least $200 in your pocket. I experienced it. I experienced it. By the time covering all your bills, covering all your expenses, less than $200 in your pocket. So when it comes to hanging out with friends and comes to hanging and chilling, you're like, well, I gotta spend how much, I gotta watch how I spend. Now, they have some friends that are in the same boat like you, and they like, listen, they're cool in it, they kick it, and they be hanging out at the park, maybe go for a little tea or something like that, and go hang out and maybe eat a slice of pizza or something like that. But some people that you hang with, they're lavish. They invite you to hang out, and they go into the most expensive restaurant. If they go into their one that invite you to expensive $300 per ticket concerts or more than that, and all you have is less than $100 after you finish paying all your expenses for the month, and then you gotta wait till your next paycheck to do it all over again. Yeah, she's right, 100%. Oh yes. So I got this article right here. The significance of number of Americans are struggling to keep up with their bills. More than 1 in 4 Americans, 26%, have fallen behind on their monthly bills in the past year. Furthermore, 37% of adults report missing at least one payment on a credit card. It's true. That's why they have so much credit card consolidation companies. A lot, a whole lot. And I get bombarded with phone calls. Or rent in the past year, according to the NFCC, a survey also found that 55% of Americans earning 75,000 or less a year have between 1 or 4 overdue bills each month. And some Americans are making less than 75,000 a year. A lot of Americans are making less than 75,000 a year. Some Americans are making 50,000 a year. Okay? I'm gonna keep it 100. Some Americans are making less than 50,000 a year. Yeah, so 75 a year would be a blessing to some households. Believe it or not, believe it or not, and some jobs are paying that. Listen, and Janash is also right about this. We gotta find ways of making money. We gotta find. I mean, you work your 16-hour shifts, but is it sustainable? You mean you're getting older? How many 16-hour shifts can you do? How many two jobs? Some Americans working two jobs and a side hustle just to get by. How much of it can you do? We gotta find ways of making money where we're not working so much. And that's why I'm looking towards the online space more and more, because I want to find a way where I can invest small, low, and make more money. Accumulate money, work smarter, not harder. And it's tough. It's really tough out here. Let's turn to the book of Revelation 9:9. Then I heard what sounded like a voice among the four living creatures saying, two pounds of wheat for a day wages, and 6 pounds of barley for a day's wages, and do not damage the oil and the wine. So, according to the scripture, it's saying there's going to come a time, it's happening right now, that it's groceries. It's going to cost more than your wages. The cost of groceries is extremely high. It's happening right now. Inflation ain't going nowhere. The cost of living to buy groceries is high. That's why they have food pantries popping up all around the country. And even in New York, I see them in New York. I see them right here. It's, food pantries are popping up in certain parts of the country. It is. And it's costing more. It's costing more. And with this new administration, with Donald Trump, with the cutting of SNAP, and certain programs are being cut, and budget, and it's yes. But what about this governor, this politician in Florida? In other words, they're catering to the rich, the 1%. Forget about the hardworking class and 9 to 5ers. Forget about the hardworking man, hardworking woman. Is there giving more benefits and more tax breaks to the rich, to the 1%, business owners, 1%. And it's funny because I see it this way. They'll give you money. When you go to banks, they'll give you money for, they give you, maybe give you get loans for college, but they will, it's a struggle to give you a loan for business. A struggle.
Surprise, Florida just ranked as the second most financially distressed state in the entire country. Only where Texas is worse, it's not just an opinion, this comes straight from Google data. So, what does financially distressed mean? It means more people are struggling to pay their bills, searching for payday loans, rent help, credit card relief, you name it. They are going to Google for help. And Floridians are struggling to survive here. And let's be real, it's not just hard to see why. Rents in Florida have skyrocketed. Groceries and insurance are completely out of control. Wages really haven't kept up. Families are working 2, sometimes 3 full time jobs and still can't get ahead. Meanwhile, Florida politicians brag about cutting taxes for the wealthy and corporations while everyday people are drowning. And in Texas, where things are even worse, it's the same story. Leadership that ignores working class struggles while protecting big business. Now, this matters because these states are often held up by models of economic success. But the reality is, people are just being left behind, and the data proves it. If the so called Florida model is leaving people broke, maybe it's time we rethink what success really looks like. Be sure to follow along for updates.
And John is right. It's coming. It's like, whew, yes, it's gonna get better. But you know what? I'm gonna rely on my Father. I'm gonna rely on the Lord Jesus Christ. Now the live word of the day is coming out of Philippians chapter 4, verses 19. My God shall supply all our needs according to his riches and his glory through Christ Jesus. Gotta rely on the Father. He's provision, providing for us, providing for me and my family, and we gotta rely on Jesus Christ because you wonder how you get by with your job, wondering how you get by. It's the Lord providing, putting food on the table, shelter over your head, and but God is gonna open doors. I know He will open doors to make more income for my family. Open doors, show me a way where I can work less and make money online, and be able to have that financial freedom, maybe able to be able to go anywhere and still make the income, not just rely on my pension when I retire. And as you can see, a lot of Americans are relying on credit cards. Some are living off of credit cards. Some are or trying to get loans so they can get by. Basic living, basic living, basic living. Well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless and be safe out there. And while you're at it, just smash that like button for me. God bless you and be safe. Peace and blessings. Until next time.